Welcome back. Match week 23. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Match week 22 was a blast. We have another guest. We have Palmer repping his Spurs today. My club soccer teammate. Some call us twins. I don't know if you guys see it.
I see it.
I don't know.
Little mustache. I don't know if you can see it, but
welcome in. We're glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Get some predictions up. Try to beat that score that I've heard so much about.
Yeah. We got to get you on the guest leaderboard. Speaking of which, let's give a score update as well as remind you of that guest leaderboard. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, me and Brock put up some very, very high numbers. We tied 8-8 last week. Brilliant game. Wash on the week, but brings our overall scores to 132 to 131. Brock still has that 1 point advantage on me, but I'm coming for it this week.
I feel it. I
feel
feel it.
I'm so confident. I need to get Palmer on here more often, man. I'm just feeling uplifted with him next to me, man. But all that being said, a couple things before we get into it.
Tell him.
If you're a sports bettor, you guys just need to start listening to our predictions.
Yeah, I mean, they're spot on.
Last week, I put a little bet on some of my predictions, and it came down to the United game.
Oh, tell them about it.
Oh my goodness, Manu with that last-minute game winner won me $150.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Days.
So you guys better get on it.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why I'm in a United kit. I mean,
that's the only reason why anyone would put on a United kit.
But it was the weirdest thing rooting for United. But if you guys are into that sports betting thing,
we might even drop some promo codes.
We'll get there eventually. We're working with Sleeper now to get
some promo codes on there.
But all that being said, make sure you guys are commenting, and let's get into the predictions.
Let's do it.
Our first game of the match week, we have Everton at home against Palmer's Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yep.
Before we get started, when we invite people onto the show, we like having them give a little bit of a recap or a vibe of the season of their team they support.
Okay.
So give us a quick Tottenham rundown. How have you been feeling so far?
It's just been fantastic as a Spurs fan, you know? Going from 3+ years of just horrible soccer, you don't even want to watch the games. You're like, I'm just going to sit here and just be bored for 90 minutes. To just, you don't know what's going to happen next, you know? It's like we go down 1-0, they do a little celebration, you know, we can't have that for Neil Maupai. And then we come back, score 3 goals in 10 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
And we win the game. It's just, it's exciting.
It's exciting, and what does it boil down to? The manager, right?
Oh my,
the manager, and then
I cannot.
Now you're getting health back into the side too. Madison's
we're
back.
Looking good.
Vanovin's back. That's huge. Son has just maybe a week or two left over at the Asia Cup, and so it's starting to look back to
for sure
to challenging for a top 4 spot.
Oh yeah,
which is really encouraging considering where you guys were last year.
Yeah, exactly.
And what the type of soccer, like you said, that we were watching.
I know it's fun. It's exciting. It's even cutting edge. Some would say.
Wow.
I would say.
Wow.
You know, it's really fun. It's a fun watch. So
Everton, on the other hand, have been struggling. They kind of had some really good form out of that 10-point deduction. They've peered off, and now there's even more uncertainty with some more allegations that are rising.
Yeah.
And they haven't. I think they're winless in the last 4, maybe the last 5.
Wow.
And so they're a team that's struggling, but at home they might have a chance. What's your prediction in this one?
Man, I have to back my Spurs. You know, you just have to. I think I'm gonna go 3-1. I think we got goals we score every game that we get, and we also let in a lot of goals. So 3-1
3-1 Tottenham. I'm going to back you with that pick. I'm going to go 3-1 as well.
Yeah, you are.
I think the Spurs will get it done. They're offensive. Everton are struggling for goals. I think they'll find something nippy on the counter.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
But Brock, what's your prediction for this one?
Fixture is simple enough for me. Everton will be bold, they'll be brave, and they will lose 2-1. Tottenham win.
The next game we have is Brighton against Crystal Palace. Brighton at home got thumped last week by Luton Town at the Kenny.
Yeah, that's I mean, everyone struggles at the Kenny.
I know.
Though.
I know. And Luton's in really good form. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But Crystal Palace Eze and Elise are sensational.
I love them.
Oh my goodness.
I love them.
I love watching them play
They're
soccer.
so entertaining.
And they scored 3 bangers.
Like they couldn't. The goalkeeper couldn't do anything.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. I mean, Elise assisting Eze twice, and then Elise with that absolute brilliant first time finish to win them the game against Sheffield. What are your thoughts in this one?
Man, this is a hard game to predict. I think I'm gonna have to go at home to Brighton. I'm gonna go 2-2.
2-2.
2-2.
It's gonna be a thriller.
Yep.
Eze and Elise are going to keep them in the game.
1 goal apiece, maybe.
I agree with you for half your prediction because one, I don't think Brighton lose games at home. I think they have a bit of a fortress. They don't always win games at home, but they never lose at home. So picking a draw, safe bet, but I think they'll get back on form. I really do. I think they have enough in the team with João Pedro and some of his company, right, to be able to get the job done against Palace. It really is a 2-man team.
It really is, yeah.
And when they're in form, they are brilliant. But a lot of times, Brighton has the ability to pick a team like Palace apart. So I'm going to go 2-1 Brighton. Let's send it over to Brock.
Who would have thought Brighton getting pumped by a Luton Town side? Kenilworth Road, it's different. A tough ask. Playing against Crystal Palace. I think Brighton finds the way to click. 3-1 Brighton.
That brings us to Burnley against Fulham. Burnley get thumped in Vincent Kompany's return to the Etihad. Fulham get up a 0-0 draw at the Cottage against Everton. And Fulham put up the most shots they've had the entire season. 25 shots, 0 goals.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There's a reason why they signed a striker. Right?
Yeah.
Transfer deadline
that could change
is
the game.
over. Broha, or... I don't even know how to say his name.
I think that's it.
But he's in from Chelsea on loan. Jimenez picks up a hamstring issue, so he might be right into the side for this one.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
What are your thoughts going into this one?
Man, Fulham, I think I had to back them here. I mean, you backed my Spurs, I'll back your Fulham, you know? I'm going to go 2-0. I don't see many goals with Burnley. And Fulham signing that new striker, getting some new energy into the squad. So 2-0.
Yep. I'm with you in the sense that I think the part that Fulham have been struggling with has been scoring goals, but I don't think they've been conceding. So I'm going to go 2-0 Fulham.
There you go.
I think it's a safe bet. Baker Ball, what do you have in this one?
Come on.
Call me crazy, call me rash. Burnley's going to get a result against Fulham. Jordan, I'm sorry, but it's 1-0 Burnley. Boys, I'm sending it back to you.
That brings us into Newcastle at home against Luton Town. 2 teams that picked up massive results last week. And for Newcastle, they were on a 4-game losing streak before that win against a very good Aston Villa team. On the road. And so it's huge for them. It's one of those, we were talking about it last week with Brock, where we think that break that we kind of had in the winter break, kind of not as many fixtures, helps Newcastle because they're finally getting some of that depth back into the squad. And that was very helpful. Luton, on the other hand, oh my goodness.
You never saw it coming. You never saw it coming.
You didn't. You didn't.
Crazy.
But you're not surprised for some reason.
You're like,
there's a level of you where you're like, this is a recently promoted side who should just be going straight back down, but they have snuck outside of the relegation zone. They're into 17th at the moment, and they believe. They believe. So what are your thoughts in this one?
I mean, belief is one thing, but going against a home squad that's just so good at home.
And this is your brother's team, right?
Yes, Gibby, if you're watching this, come on, you Newcastlers. I think that Newcastle will take this one. I think it's going to be, I'm going to go 3-1. I'm going to go 3-1. I think Luton might get a little nick in here, like a little free kick, corner goal, but man, I think the attacking side of Newcastle is going to get it done.
Sweet. I'm going to go Newcastle 2-0. Seems simple. Brock, do you agree with us?
Newcastle finding their stride again, and it will continue against Luton Town. A ridiculous result for them. What a moment for the club, but I have Newcastle winning this game 2-0.
That brings us into Sheffield United against Aston Villa, both with losses last week, right? Sheffield's at home in this one. Villa needs a response, and again, this is probably the team they wanted to play.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, Sheffield, they thought they could take that result home, but at least they, like we said, nicked it. So, my prediction for this, I'm gonna go 2-0 to Aston Villa. Yeah.
3-0 Aston Villa seems legit. Baker, what do you have for us on this one?
The train has been coming off the tracks for Villa, but I think they're going to get back in the engine room, feeding the guys. Villa win this game 3-1.
That brings us into the Sunday fixtures. We have Bournemouth at home against Nottingham Forest. Forest lose against Arsenal.
Yep.
Bournemouth pick up that draw against West Ham. Bournemouth has been a team that has been, in recent months, has been playing very, very well under Iriola. Forest, new manager, they've been playing well as well.
Yeah, new signings. They got Gio Reyna from Dortmund.
Wow.
New keeper. I don't know who he is, but he's got a new
keeper.
But I think I like Bournemouth in this one. They're playing really fun soccer. I watched the West Ham game. They played pretty well. I think they did lose some players, like Fornells and some Benny Rama or something. So
That was West Ham.
Oh, West Ham.
Yeah, you're good. You're mixing up Bournemouth and West Ham. They played this week.
That's right. That's right. I feel like they're like the same team as well.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so minus all that, Bournemouth is gonna get the win, 2-0.
2-0. Solanke, brace?
He could. He's in form. He's
a class striker. I think he's brilliant. I'm gonna go. This is one of those games that's a complete toss up. If you check the scores or you're watching the game, you're like not surprised if Forest wins, not surprised if Bournemouth wins, not surprised with the draw. So I'm gonna sit on the fence. 1-1.
Okay.
Baker, what do you have on this one?
You're hearing it first. An absolute shootout that we're going to see. Dominic Solanke on the score sheet twice. 3-2 Bournemouth. Jordan, Palmer, what do we got next?
The next fixture is Chelsea against Wolves. Both of these teams feeling kind of down after last week's results.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Chelsea battered by the league leaders. Wolves heartbroken. After fighting back from 3-0 down, they equalize in the 94th minute. Neto, what a player.
Yep.
If you have that fan, you better sign him on then like I did. And Mono with just took the breath out of the Molyneux, and they come home with nothing.
Yep.
Both of these teams need a result. What are your initial thoughts?
I think Chelsea is going to thrive in a game like this. I hate to say it. I think Wolves, I like the way they play. I do. It's fun. Exciting football. But Chelsea, I think these are the games that they're up for. You know, I think so. So I'm going to go. It's going to be an exciting game, though. I think it's going to be 3-2.
Wow. Exciting game. Thriller. I think Wolves are one of those teams that at the beginning of the year, we were like, they're not anything special. But, I mean, Gary O'Neill has been playing really, really well. Sarabia, Neto, Cunha have all been brilliant.
All fun players.
They're all very, very offensive. They have the ability to get goals on the counter, which is what Wolves like to play a lot of the time. But it is one of those where you're just like, not quite enough.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea will find a way. I'm gonna go 2-1.
Okay.
Baker, what do you have in this one?
Chelsea, Wolves. I don't know which way to stretch this one, but I can only go with what my heart tells me. Cole Palmer is going to score a little cheeky PK. Chelsea's going to take this game 2-1.
Man United at Old Trafford against West Ham. United are starting to get some of their injuries some of their players back from injury.
That's true. Their squad is looking a little bit better.
Maguire's back, Martinez is back, Casemiro's back, Rashford back in form, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we mentioned it last week. Brock wasn't sold, but I mean,
he's looking good.
With a goal of that quality, early days of that game, he might be finding his way back to what we maybe saw at the back end of last season. West Ham, on the other hand, we're pretty disappointing at home. What did you say?
I watched the game and it was very boring. They didn't really have too many shots, and they just looked kind of depleted. So it's kind of a toss-up. I feel like Man United is so unpredictable, and
they are.
West Ham, you're like, I don't know. They're also unpredictable against big teams. So
yeah,
what do you think?
I think United. It's one of those situations where you get a big result, and obviously it shouldn't have been.
Yeah,
it shouldn't have been close. Like, the reality is, United up 3-0. They should have put away that game. They're able to make it in thrilling fashion, get the 3 points, right?
Yeah.
Manu, I mean, that goal, oh my goodness, it was sensational. Nutmeg, dribbles through the defense, like, it was one of the better solo goals that I've seen, and it was a game winner in the 97th, 98th minute. So absolutely thrilling for him. He's like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, crazy.
So brilliant from him. I think this is one of the games they'll take care of business.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Man United 3-1. I think their offense is back. I really do.
Okay. I'm going to go, I'm going to sit on the fence for this one. I think it's going to be 1-1. Yep.
1-1.
1-1.
Wow.
Baker Ball, what do you think?
United West Ham. My picks are going wherever the wind blows me. And United's going to win this game. I think we're starting to see them find form again. West Ham, I just feel they'll be unimpressive in this game. I have United winning it 2-0.
That brings us into the game of the week. One of the biggest games of the year, it might feel like. We have Arsenal at the Emirates against mighty Liverpool. And Liverpool have been flying. Across the board. I mean,
crazy.
It's kind of like the Last Dance is what the comparisons to the media are right now.
Yeah.
We got that last dance for Liverpool to get some more silverware before Klopp leaves. And something about it right now feels
good.
Majestic, feels special, feels like they're doing something really, really cool this season.
Yeah. This game, man, I'm excited to watch it.
It's going to be a thriller.
It's going to be so fun.
I know.
I don't think it's going to be a boring game. Sometimes, these games, you're like, oh, that wasn't that special. But this game, man, it's going to be big.
It has what it takes. You have Arsenal, who kind of petered off after their draw against Liverpool, but they're starting to find it again. And then Liverpool, who's really been constant. Like, they've just been moving through and just taking care of business all throughout. And so it's one of those where maybe Liverpool has the nod because of form, but then Arsenal's at home, which might even the playing field.
Exactly.
And so, what is your prediction for this one? A huge game. All of you guys better drop your comments and your predictions on this one.
I want to hear it.
This is a huge
big
one.
Game.
This is a huge one. We'll interact with you in the comments. Be commenting.
Yep. I think, oh man, I'm going to go Liverpool 3, Arsenal 2.
Wow.
Yep.
Thriller. Liverpool get the job done. Oh my goodness. I know what Brock's going to pick.
I know.
Right?
Yep. It's
he's gonna go with his heart. I'm gonna go with logic. I'm going to go and sit on the fence and predict exactly what happened last time. 1-1.
Wow.
And I hate saying it because that result is favorite City. That's exactly what City wants.
Yeah, that's what I don't want.
And so I would prefer there be a winner. I think it's going to be one of those 1-1 where both the teams are going to be playing so hard, but neither of them want to lose.
Exactly.
And so taking a point against a really good team isn't a bad thing for clubs like this. And so I'm going to go with that. We'll see if if Brock backs his Gunners.
It almost feels wrong to have a game this big happening this early into the second half of the season, but boy, am I thrilled. We get Arsenal at the Emirates against Liverpool. Deary me, it's two teams that are going to be duking it out. I think you're going to see them at the top of the table come the end of the league. And I think this game will end 1-0 to the Arsenal. 1-0 to the Arsenal. Arsenal take it 1-0. Game of the week. Come on, boys. What's next?
On Monday, we get the Brentford Bees against Man City. And fun fact for you,
Okay.
last season, right? Throw it all the way back then. Ivan Toney on Brentford, they took down Man City twice. All 6 points last season against what were going to be the champions. Can we see an upset potentially in this one?
No, we can't. I think the team right now, they're so excited that Ivan Toney's back, but I just don't think that's enough to beat a Giant with, all the players. Kevin
All
De
their
Bruyne's
players back. I know.
They look
Alvarez looks brilliant. Holland's back healthy.
They just look good. It's just like, what is this team? It's one of the best.
It's
ever,
like
so.
a couple months ago we're like, what's going on with City?
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden now we're just back to the same.
never
Dang
mind.
it, they're here again. Like
Yep.
And so
Yeah.
they're making that push again for the title. I'm gonna go ahead and just predict it as it is. 3-1 City. What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna go 3-0 City.
3-0 City. Baker, what are your thoughts on this one?
If there's one man that can do it, it's Ivan Toney. He's back out there playing, and boy, is he a special player. This Manchester City team is just different. Weapons all over the field. They play so well together. Brentford have found ways to do it in the past. I don't think it'll happen here. I have City taking this game 3-1.
That wraps us up for the week. I'm excited for the weekend. It's just good to have the consistency of soccer back.
You love it,
right?
I know.
We'll go ahead. We'll throw up the graphic. Palmer's predictions will be in the comments, so be sure to interact with him there.
Go look at those. They're gonna be spot on.
Maybe they will. We'll see if he can take down my dad.
That's
right?
gonna be a big feat.
Oh my good days! My dad is the top of the leaderboard at the moment. But all that being said, thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks
Paul,
for having
being
me.
here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Paul,
Yeah.
for being here. We appreciate you, and have a great week.